Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Let's learn computer science. Hello everyone, welcome to day 6 of 21 days Python Masterclass. Our today's topic is flow control in Python. Today we'll be covering understanding about flow control, use of indentation in Python, what is sequential flow, conditional flow including all the versions of if statement in Python, flowcharts for visual representation, and some examples of simple programs using if statements. So let's start. First of all, let's understand what flow control is. So in Python or in any programming language, flow control means the order in which the statements are executed in a program, whether they are one after another or there is any change in the flow because of some decisions or some conditions which are mentioned in between. So it allows you to make decisions or repeat actions and control the flow of execution based on certain conditions. Proper flow control is essential for writing efficient and structured code, right? And Python, it uses indentation to define blocks of code, which contributes to its readability and makes it easy to understand the flow of the program. We will understand in today's session what indentation is and how it is to be written. So let's understand use of indentation in Python. Python uses indentation. Basically, these are some white spaces at the beginning of the line, indented towards right-hand side to indicate blocks of code. Means to mention that certain statements, they belong to a certain block. Maybe that's a function, maybe that's a if statement or a loop, right? It is mandatory in Python. And it's not just for visual appeal. It determines the program's logic and flow. It tells what statements are part of which particular block. And the blocks of codes, they are grouped based on the same level of indentation. Indentation, basically, it can be spaces or tabs. But throughout the program, that consistency is to be maintained to understand that which statements are part of which particular block. Also, indentation error can lead to syntax errors. So if you do not take care of indentation, you will not be able to execute your code until or unless you remove those syntax errors related to indentation. We will understand indentation in detail with some examples. However, before that, let's understand what is sequential flow. Sequential flow means statements are executed in their natural order. So the way they are mentioned, that is how they are executed. First statement first, then second, then third, and so on. In Python, normally all the statements, they are executed sequentially from top to bottom until or unless there are some flow control statements mentioned. Flow control statements means decision making, let's say if statements, or maybe iteration statements or looping statements, including for or while, etc. Until or unless flow control statements are mentioned, your program will be executed top to bottom, one after another. Sequential flow is suitable for straightforward tasks that requires a linear execution of code where you don't have to make any decisions in between. You can go just one after another, right? Now let's understand what is conditional flow. Conditional flow means there are some conditions on basis of what you make decisions in your program code. In Python, we have different versions of if statement. First one is simple if, where you write if along with its condition, and if the condition is true, a specified block of code will be executed. I'll explain this with the help of examples. However, as of now, let's understand what are the other versions of if statement. Second version of if is if-else. Here you have two alternative paths based on the condition. One, when condition is true, then statements written after if are to be executed. And if condition is false, then statements written after else will be executed. Next version is if-elif-else. Here you can write multiple conditions. You can make decision based on different conditions. It checks each condition in order and then executes the block depending upon which condition is true. So whatever condition is true, that block will be executed. And if no condition is true, then else block will be executed. Let's understand all these in detail along with examples and the flow charts for these statements. First of all, if statement. So if statement, if you look at, it starts with a condition. A condition is checked. If condition is true, whatever statements are written here will be executed. And then program will go to the next statement, whatever is written after if. However, if condition is false, then these statements will not be executed. Control will go directly to the next statement, which is written after if statement, right? So if statement evaluates the condition, if condition is evaluated to true, the code inside the body of if is executed. If condition is evaluated to false, the code inside the body of if is skipped. So let's start with the example. So I'm taking a variable number is equals to 5. I'm putting if condition, if number is greater than 0, then colon. Now, when I press enter, the next set of statements, whether it's one or multiple, they'll be indented. So now I'm writing the statement, which is part of if statement. So I'm printing if this condition is true, number greater than 0. If that condition is true, what I want to print number is greater than 0. And I'm closing if statement. Now, when I press enter, right now, the indentation is same as the above statement. However, I want to come out of it. So I'll press backspace and I'll come out of the if statement. Now, because indentation is not at the same level of print, so next statement that I'm writing is not part of if statement. So here I'm writing statement which is outside if statement. So whatever I write here, that will be printed whether if condition is true or false, right? So if I run this code, it will ask me to save. Yes, I'm saving it. Now, if you look at the output, because this condition is true, number greater than 0, number is 5, so 5 is greater than 0. So output, whatever written inside the loop is printed in the output, number is greater than 0. Also, whatever is written outside the if statement is also there in the output, right? That's how simple if statement works. Now let's have a look at if-else statement. Now here in if-else statement, there is one condition. If that condition is true, then some statements which are part of if block will be executed. And if this condition is false, then statements which are part of else will be executed, right? Let's understand this with the help of example here. So here, this is the same code that I have written. Now here I'm just including else part. So along with else also there is a colon. When I put a colon, indentation will be included automatically here. So now here, whatever statements you want to include as part of if, when condition which is written up there is false, what you want to do, that you need to write here. So I'm writing number is not greater than 0, right? So this is statement which is part of else. This is statement which is part of if. If this condition is true, then this will be executed. If this condition is false, then this will be executed. And this statement, because this is outside if, will be executed where, no matter if condition is true or false, right? So control will come here definitely, no matter condition is true or false, right? So let's just execute this code and check its output. Yes. So here number is 5. 5 is greater than 0. This is true. So this is executed. Number is greater than 0 and then outside if. This part is not executed. So let's check. Let's change this value. Let's make it -5 and then run this code again. Save it. Yes. Now output is changed. Now this statement is not executed. This statement is there in the output. Number is not greater than 0 and outside if, right? So that is how if else works. Now let's have a look at if-elif-else statement. Here we have multiple conditions. If this condition is true, then certain statements will be executed. If this condition is false, then there is one more condition which is going to be checked. And if that condition is true, then those statements will be executed. If this condition is false, then you can have more conditions to check. If no condition to check, then else part will be executed. Right? Let's have a look at Python shell. So here, before else, we have to have elif. So that is how we write here, elif and then condition, right? So let's take a number from user. I'm writing here int input statement so that number which is entered by the user is converted to integer value. So I'm asking user to enter a number. Right now, whatever number user will enter, I'm checking whether that number is positive, negative, or 0. So if number is greater than 0, that means number is positive. If user enters a positive number, so output will be number is positive. Else if I'm going to check another condition. If number is less than 0, then what I want to do, I want to print that number is negative. So I'm writing here number is negative. If number is neither positive nor negative, that means number is 0. And this statement will be executed no matter whether this condition is true or this condition is true or no condition is true. So this statement will be executed in all cases outside if, right? Let's run this code. Save it. Yes. Okay. I have not closed the code. So that's why there is an error. So run this module. Okay. Now here it's asking for a number. I'm entering 6 and it is saying number is positive and outside if. So outside if will be executed no matter what. However, here this condition was true. 6 is greater than 0. So number is positive. Let's re-execute this code. Now this time I'm entering -8 enter. Number is negative. So here this condition -8 is greater than 0 is false. So it entered in elif block and checked this condition. Number is less than 0. Yes, true. So it executed this and did not enter in else. Right? So number is negative is printed here, and then outside if will be executed. So let's run this code once again and enter 0 as input. So here, when it checked number is 0. So 0 is greater than 0. No. So this block will not be executed. Then it checked elif condition, number less than 0. No, number is not less than 0. So this block is also not executed. So last else block is executed. That number is 0. When both these conditions are false, then this block is executed. And this statement will be executed no matter which condition is true or false. So output is number is 0 outside if. Next is nested if. Now nested if is when we use one if statement inside of another if statement. Then we call it nesting, when one type of statement is used in some other statement. So for example, if condition, and as statements, we write another if statement of inside that if. So let's check this in Python shell, how it works. So let's take a variable a is equals to, let's say 9. So if a is greater than 0, colon, print, I'm just writing statement which is to be executed if that condition is true. So inside first if, or outer if, I would say, because I'm going to show you working of nested if. So out inside outer if, then here only as part of if I am putting one more if a is greater than 2, colon, now indentation has come automatically, then print inside inner if, and I'm closing, and when I come out and execute, running this module, save. So because condition was true, a is 9, so 9 is greater than 0. That was also true. So it printed this, then it checked this condition, is 9 greater than 2. That is also true. So it printed this also, right? So this is called nested if, when one if is written inside another if as a statement, right? So that's how it works. Now it is assessment time. So there are 6 questions for you. Pause the video. Try solving these questions. Here is the answer key. Compare your answers with the answer key. Hope you got the right answers. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.